Give it to me straight. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's Coffee Talk Tuesday.
Hello.
I've got a little nugget next to me who's eating the rest of her cereal before she goes out grocery shopping. She buys all the groceries, which is great. The other day, Lauren and Aurora went out, I don't know, somewhere.
At Jen's house?
No, you went out. Mommy said that you guys went out to shop somewhere and you were at the cash register and you took out one of your bills and you gave it to them.
Uh-huh.
Well, the bill that Aurora took out of her purse that day and gave to the cash register was a Trump 2020 novelty bill, and Lauren said that the cash register wasn't too amused. So, what's going on, Brother Zoe? What's going on, King 40? See, morning coffee talk with my friends in a piping hot cup of Elevation Blend coffee. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? All the snow that we got the other day is going to get washed away by a whole lot of rain. It's very weird to not have any.
And our trucks just putting salt on it.
The trucks are putting salt out there.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be rain coming later on, so they don't need they don't need salt for that.
Well, our trucks are going to be rain today.
Okay, it's going to be rainy. We got to make sure the pump is on in the back so we don't have a swimming pool in the back.
Yeah, and I get my shirt all wonky.
Yeah, you don't want your shirt to get wonky. It's very weird to not have to leave the house for work because I can't go to Studio A at night. It's very weird, but I can't wait until next week.
Me too.
Like I told you, I just got this new computer. I had it built custom. It's very expensive, and it should buy me a couple of years. So I'm going to try to repurpose the old one, like I said last night, to the music room, and we'll see what happens. All right, so what's going on with you guys? Freebird, hello. James Richter, hello. Frank Zell, hello. Oh, we got a lot of our regulars here. I love it. Do we? Who here from Europe? Ben from Suspicious Observers had a great salty AMA last night, and he loves your show. You know, you're not the first one to tell me this, that he mentioned, quite frankly, again. Well, somebody super chatted him and complimented his appearance on the show, and he once again spoke very glowingly about the show. And I'm so happy about that. Because Ben's one of those guys where, you know, I really wanted to be accommodating and have him have a good time. And the fact that he had that much of a good time, it makes me feel good. And I love to have him back. We got to do more. East Texas. Where's everybody from right now? Aurora needs a little geography lesson. East Texas. Madrid. D's in Madrid. That's in Spain. You know where Spain is?
Well,
it's near the North Pole. Incognito Potato is from the UK. You know where the UK is from?
yeah.
The inner Earth. Inside of the Earth, there's a huge chasm. And inside that chasm is where Great Britain is. Very strange people. Oregon, Idaho, Maine, Arizona, Nevada, ribeye, beer, menthol cigarettes for breakfast. Get out of here. You're not smoking menthol cigarettes for breakfast, King. You serious? You're not doing that. Ribeye's fine. Get out. When did you start smoking cigarettes? do this. Menthol cigarettes is the breakfast of champions, says Mark Swan. Oh, we got everybody here. I should just move the show to 9 o'clock a.m. Cheers. She sits sometime in the morning. I sit down. I put my coffee down. She sits next to me. I get her tiny little coffee cup. It's like an espresso cup. And I just put a little bit of half and half in there. And we have our coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, Mom gave me a little water and then Emily was pretending to have tea.
To have tea? Uh-huh. You know, you don't have to pretend to have tea. You can have some tea if you want. Mm-hmm. Especially at nighttime, if you ever wanted to have a little chamomile tea before bed. Chamomile tea gets you nice and relaxed. Gets you ready for some good dreams. Aurora's been practicing with, she's been using a blanket. She said, I want a blanket. So we got her one, and she's been practicing with that.
Well, my butt was out tonight.
She said she felt her butt out of the blanket, because usually she sleeps in a sleep sack. And she wanted a blanket instead. So, all right. We just got to get her a bigger blanket. All right, let me see what everybody's saying. Yeah, I stopped for 20 years and recently started again.
Sometimes I was
don't do it.
On my pillow.
You want a pillow too? Uh-huh. Well, we're going to get you a pillow. Okay. She wants her first pillow. King, stop. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Cigars are fine, King. Don't get rid of the menthol. Get rid of the cigarettes. Don't do it, King. Roll joints. Roll a joint. If you're going to smoke anything, do that instead. Just don't. Let's see. King 40, wash that down, that ribeye, with some wild Irish rose. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot the wild Irish rose. All right, let me get back. Make sure I see as much as I can. Let's see here. Biking Viking, I've been craving Milano cookies today. Oh, Milano cookies. That's Pepperidge Farm, right? Pepperidge Farm's got a lot, and they've got a lot there. They've got a lot to make you feel good, especially the double dark chocolate. Yes. Oh, okay. She just wanted to tell me she doesn't know why she doesn't like the Italian rainbow cookies. I love the Italian rainbow cookies. You know what I'm talking about? You know, it's the green, white, and red stripes with, I think it's like the raspberry something in between, and then the chocolate on top. Well, I mean, I let her try it on New Year's Eve, and she loved it. So I went and got another half pound of it the other day, just because I'll pop them once in a while, and she didn't like it at all. So that was the end of the Italian.
I just was having chocolate on it.
You just wanted the chocolate. Yeah. See, one day. Pepperidge Farms. There's a lot there. Okay, so tonight, just hanging out with you guys a little bit. Also wanted to get something for you tonight. We are going to have a special guest on. I only have him for about 15 minutes that I can be guaranteed. Hold on. You all done? Uh-huh. Okay.
I make it all.
Hold on. I'll take you down.
I just slide down by myself.
Well, you did a very good job. So here's what we got going on tonight.
I sit on your lap.
You can say hello to everybody for 1 second.
What?
What? So what are you going to be doing today?
I just want to draw something.
You already did draw something. We have your this is the list that Aurora made for shopping today.
Look.
Oh, there's more on the back. You didn't make those stick figures. Who made those stick figures? Did Mommy make those?
Yep.
Okay. Is that Mommy, and who's that? Is that Daddy?
Yep.
Then where's Aurora?
Oh, we forgot Aurora.
You want to put Aurora in?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. We'll get back to business in just a second. It's light on a Tuesday morning. Okay, let's see. Well, you're not gonna be taller than Daddy. Here, she's a lefty. Do a little circle right there for your head. There you go. Now do one stick down. There. It looks like you have scoliosis, God forbid. One leg. Oh boy. One arm. Two arms. There you go. Oh boy. Hey, let's draw Lila.
Okay.
Little circle for her head.
I don't know what Lila is gonna be.
Give her little ears. Your legs. And then the tail. Oh, silly. And then Lila's right next to it. Okay. Say, I'll see you later, everybody.
I'll see you later.
Thank you. You're so cute.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness. All right, okay. Tonight I've got a special guest coming on, and I have them for what could only be guaranteed 15 minutes, and I'll tell you why. Because this guy, he's a viewer of the show. His name is Taylor, and he's currently locked up in D.C. He was arrested, and he's been detained for a while now, January 6th. And he's going to be calling us with the 15 minutes that they give him at the jail. And the only way that we can have more time with him is if he gets 15 minutes gifted to him by one of the other inmates. And he just wanted to be a part of the show, and he wanted to talk a little bit. And if I only have 15 minutes with him, I need the best questions. I have a couple in mind, but I want to go to you guys. I want to go to you guys for some thoughts. If you only have a little bit of time with somebody, it's not like he couldn't call in again, and that we couldn't give him some regular time just to be a part of, just to get word out. I want to just give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to be a part of the process here. So, if you have any questions, I'll say, what did he do? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. Circumstances. Because here's the thing. As far as what did he do, as you can see now from these latest declarations from the government, they're not only not slowing down their pursuit of people who have walked inside the building, they're now going to accelerate and expand their search for people who didn't even go in. So, I mean, I want to, especially about that. Let me see. What does he do to keep the spirits up? Lauren just crawled past me. She's crawling past me. Aurora sits right on my lap, and Lauren army crawls along the floor. Okay. How keep spirit? Because I got to say, Taylor's family, got a picture of him and his family. He's got like 4 or 5 kids. It breaks my heart, and I can't wait to see this get resolved for him. And how do you keep your spirits up? Hold on, I'm going back to see. Let's see. If he would do it again. I don't know anybody who would. Maybe there are. But it's just one of those things where you walk into a trap. You could do it again. I'm just gonna throw that down. How many feds took him down? How many feds were arrested? I'm gonna have to have bigger questions than this. Messages, prospects, how people can help when we really do feel helpless. I mean, we read about what's going on, we can report on what's going on. Short of donating to individual people's um, legal efforts, what do we do? What's the morale with other inmates? Um, with not interactions with non-offending, with non-J6 inmates, like what's the general vibe? How do people, when you're in there with other people who are doing time for numerous reasons, how have you meshed with other people, non-J6 inmate interactions? These are things that have to be pared down. We can get around to all these if I had even 45 minutes, but let's see. How's the family doing? Yeah. Family. Trial status. Sentencing. A. Taylor says there were over 200 feds there. For what? Are you talking about this particular story? Hold on a second. I'll get you. Because there was a Gateway Pundit article about this. Let's see here. Tuesday. Hold on, everybody. I just want to get the thing up. Okay, let's see here. This was written December 16th. Taylor James Janaticus. Father of five, sole breadwinner for the family, went to the Capitol January 6th to get content for experiential storytelling to see a major moment in history, win or lose. On November 21st, Taylor was found guilty on 7 charges, 3 of them felonies. He's awaiting sentencing. Taylor's wife, Marie, shared her love for her. I'm going to read this tonight, just a little bit to get started, because there's so many people that are being abused like this, and it's very little. We can put our attention on one person at a time, one group at a time, one family at a time for so long, and I always want to do whatever we can. And I know you guys do too.
Dad.
But that's what's going on. He's currently awaiting sentencing. Yes.
We're going first grocery store, then we go to Target again. If I have listening ears on, then I get.
Okay. Sure. First, she said first she's going to Target. No. First she's going to grocery store, and if she has her listening ears on, she's going to visit the Starbucks that sublets inside of this local Target, so that she can have a pink treat, which is
don't judge people.
It's a pink cake. This pink cake pop. You know the cake pops at Starbucks? Well, Lauren loves the Starbucks mochas, and Aurora just loves the pink treat, the cake pop. So
Also is dog pink. Dog pops.
There's chocolate pops, right? Yeah, but you like the pink pops.
Yeah, and also I like a dog ones and a chocolate ones too.
Mmm.
Yeah, yum.
It is yum. So that's what we got going on tonight. Let's see here. Has he lost hope for vindication? Family. I'm going to put that family hope into the same thing. From what I have read, obviously, he has a very strong family life and family who loves him. He's got support. But I think about being away from her. You know what happened to what was I was going through just going to Jay Goulinella's retreat for 3 days in Vermont, leaving Aurora home for 3 days in Vermont, only having FaceTime every day. It killed me. It killed me. So when I think about people locked up or already, for a couple of years just waiting trial with family, and whether you have a family or not, it's your life, Yeah. King says, I thought you was a Cowboys fan, Frank. I am. This is my grandfather's shirt. It's very, very well put together because it's decades old now. And my grandfather wasn't even truly a Jets fan. As I've said many times before, he was just a fan of anybody who made him money. He loved football before all things, but now it's just I'll root for the Jets. They're my AFC team. I'll root for the Jets as long as their interests do not conflict with the Cowboys, which this year will not be happening. The Cowboys got a first-round bye, but don't worry. I've seen many first-round byes end in crushing loserdom defeat. You're so cute. Okay, let's see here. No worries, Lauren, says Gina Martin. I got 20 of those cake pops in replacement cake for my birthday last year. They're the best. Oh.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Just give somebody a little circle, like a cardboard circle that you can punch those pops through. That's
a great idea.
Yeah. Yep. Packers are going to give them a hard time.
This is the first step.
The Packers got into the playoffs? I didn't even take a look at it. Lauren's a Packers fan. At least on record, Lauren's a Packers fan. She was a Brett Favre fan. And then, so when we first met and all that stuff, I'd buy her like Packers stuff. And whenever the Cowboys would play the Packers, most of the time the Cowboys would lose. Most of the time, especially if it's in the playoffs. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Cowboys. I don't have a lot of confidence, but yeah. King, yes, long-suffering Vikings fan, I know. What do you mean they don't have a first-round bye? They're the second seed. I thought the first and second seed have a bye. The Cowboys don't have a bye? The second seed doesn't get one? When you say the fix is in for the Cowboys, the second seed doesn't get a bye? I thought for sure that both the first two do. Oh. Well, then that actually might help them out. Because whenever they sit around and rest up, they play worse than they usually do. Okay, only the 49ers. Gotcha. Well, at least they're going to have at least one. At least one. But those 49ers are tough, from what I see. 2 seed plays the wild card. Great. I'm telling you, nothing. Anyway. So I think we got enough here. And if I didn't see your question about tonight's guest, Taylor James, please email me, quite frankly, super chat, quite frankly, podcast@gmail.com. Email me, and I'll get you down. So, Frank, who's your favorite live action Batman? Oh, I think it was George Clooney. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I grew up Michael Keaton. I grew up Michael Keaton and Adam West because I always was watching all the old movies and stuff like that. And Adam West, they had the Batman movie, and then they also had the show, and I watched all those. Adam West running down the pier with the bomb over his head, and the bat shark repellent. Robin, give me the bat shark repellent. I always thought that was hilarious. Uh, but you know, I liked Michael Keaton just because that's all I knew for a while. Christian Bale did great. Christian Bale did great. Matt swears by Christian Bale, so therefore we have to. We always make fun of Christian Bale because we want to trigger Matt. But Christian Bale did great, I think. The growling was a little too much. His Batman voice was just a little bit too much. But I think Bale did great. What do you guys think? I have not seen the Batman movie with what's his name from Twilight yet. But I hear good things about that. What? I love you too. What?
Okay, time for us to get going.
Okay.
I go in.
See you later.
Sorry.
What'd you call me? Balik?
Sorry.
Dalik? She gives everybody new names. We get names, and I don't know. I'm often not even human.
Love you.
Love you guys. See you in a little bit.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, darlings. See you later.
See ya.
I'll be having a I don't know, an affectionate moment with Aurora. Like she'll be like, I'll be on the couch, she'll jump on the couch and she'll be cuddling with me, and then she'll look up at me and she'll rub my cheek, and she goes, "Oh, I love you, doggy," and I get, so oh, that's nice. How nice. The whole time, here I am thinking we're having a nice little moment, and the whole time she's pretending that she's hanging out with a dog. I love you, doggy. And then so many other things. I'm everything but dad sometimes. I'm a bus driver. I'm in my office. She'll come into the office and she'll sit down and she'll go, "Bus driver, can you take me to?" So I have to pretend I'm in the bus. And then I'm a doctor and a teacher. Teacher. She comes in with her backpack on. She calls it her pack. I love you, doggy. Like, yeah, no, Susan, and I mean King's been saying you got to get that girl a dog. I said, I know, but we've got a moody ass cat in here who, despite having so much more room it would just be bad. Lila with a dog would just be bad. I don't know. But we got to get a dog sooner than later. Lila's only 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. For a cat, that's pretty young. If we wait until she dies before Aurora gets a puppy, Aurora's going to be, 10. Can't do that. Lauren's going right now. Go buy a dog. Labradors, yes. Let me put some music on. All right, so what else? Tonight I had, because we have our, let's see. Because I have the Taylor coming on, the J60 Taney, we're going to talk a little bit to him, and then I want to get to some other just news-related stuff. But as far as the rest of the show, I don't know. What's a good theme? I still would love to get this last night. If you saw last night's show with Jennifer from J's for Justice, I ended the show talking about that Twin Flames documentary, and I asked the question: have you ever had to escape a cult, a legit cult, where through some way you realized that your entire life you had lost control of your whole life. You were isolated from your family. Your job, your finances were pretty much, I don't know, they're just pretty much garnished. Everything everything. That's what I want to know. There's that. But there's also a couple other topics I want to bring up because I have a full 2 hours tonight. I have a full 2 hours tonight because I don't have band practice, because I'm not going to do half my show at home and then have to go to the studio. So I just want to see other topics you guys have. I'm going to wait to ask. Let me see. David Brashears from Archaics. You know, Freebird, I'm subscribed to the Archaics channel, and every time I try to understand, I can't follow. I have to find, if you anybody out there that follows the Archaics channel, I don't really even understand what the totality of the worldview is. So I need to find like a 101 crash course video that is under 3 hours that can at least summarize what goes on there, because I'm subscribed, but I still have not really pick it up. One-Eyed Flows has stopped in to say thanks for last night. I'm a Jay supporter. Show was great. Subbed up. Thanks for having us. I loved having Jay on, and she had great enthusiastic fans and supporters that meshed very well with all the Franklies out there, and I'd love to have you guys back as often as you'd come by, because my broadcast schedule does not conflict with Jay's. So there you have it. He had a good show on the 3 factions of war, the 2 ancient elite groups, and the banksters. Ask him how we can help him while he's going through the legal process. Yeah, I have that down. You're talking about tonight's guest? I have that down. I gotta whittle it down to like the 2 or 3 best questions, unless we do rapid fire. And if we do rapid fire, you can't really get a chance to absorb a person's personality and stuff. So I gotta either just bring him back in little 15-minute dribs and drabs. We'll see that. Glenn Greenwald does really good coverage on J6 that doesn't fit the definition of insurrection. Well, I talked about this on Sunday. I talked about this on Sunday's private stream. And if you're not a monthly sponsor, definitely get into the Subscribe Star and become a sponsor for as little as $5 a month. We are 49% of the way to being able to open the 2-hour show across all platforms again, and not just have the second half exclusively on QuiteFrankly.tv. I just got to get to at least 80% funded on Subscribe Star so that I can maintain the staff we've brought on that have been made possible through the Pilled deal. So just want to say that. But when we were talking about this stuff on Sunday, the whole zero hedge debate between the retarded Krasensteins, that Destiny guy, and then Greenwald, Alex Jones, and Darren Beatty came up. And I was just giving my thoughts about that because I can only watch it for about 15 minutes. I can only take it for about 15 minutes. First of all, Alex Jones, he's got his reputation. He's been in the game for decades now, and he's got tremendous recall, which works out perfect in a broadcast or a podcast situation. Even then, you need to be able to keep him on track and don't wander off. But in a debate setting, did not work. He really didn't add too much to that debate. You got to bring debaters on. It was a mess. It was a mess, and because it was so messy, you created opportunities for these retards. Literal. I'm being clinical about this. The Krasensteins are retarded. You gave them opportunities to score points. I mean, they're sitting there saying that insurrection is very subjective. It really is just about who can bully the narrative into place and who can use their resources to make the narrative, an insurrection narrative, really stick and really become tangible for people. That is mostly what our understanding of the Civil War is about. Everybody tries to trip people up, and they say, What? Okay, they think it's a gotcha question. What was the issue? What issue was the Civil War mainly about? What started it all? Well, you can talk about a number of things, a vast number of things, but the main issue was secession, the state's ability to secede. You say, well, why did the states want to secede? Well, a couple of them had slavery down as a reason because they saw that coming in some ways. But the other people, other states, even said that there was they didn't want anything to do with this government because the other side of the 13th Amendment, the Corwin Amendment, which we talked about many times on the show. We brought on Brian McClanahan. I got to get him back on. The Corwin Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, John Otter, only 5 of 13 states cited slavery. So less than half of them. Many of them seceded because they saw the North invade the South after South Carolina voted in overwhelming majority peacefully to leave. You know, secession is actually a bargaining tool. If you believe that you are sitting down with people at a negotiation table and they're acting in bad faith, you have the ability to get up and walk out. That does not mean that if South Carolina were allowed to leave peacefully, that they wouldn't come back. That they wouldn't come back if cooler heads prevailed and something was negotiated that was nice there, or if it seemed like everybody was, that was the whole thing there. So they try to pigeonhole you into saying into making definitive statements about slavery as if anybody is for chattel slavery in the 21st century. And there's the other misunderstanding of things. So what is this all talking about? We're talking about they're telling you it's subjective, and this is how dense these topics are, and instead you have to listen to this Destiny idiot and everybody else using these Reconstruction amendments like the 14th Amendment, who have been abused time and time again. If you were told, first of all, you have morons like Brooklyn Dad out there who think the founders drafted and ratified the 14th Amendment, even though this was 75, 80 years after the founding. And if you thought that the founders, if they did ratify it, ever thought that this would be, that the 14th Amendment could and would be used to pry open the southern border, to grant, to override the state's authority on things like marriage so that gay people can be recognized by the federal government, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And here we are with the 14th Amendment being used to try to eliminate a political candidate from contention over something that was clearly staged and was clearly framed up, no doubt about it. So it's just incredible here. It really is. Not to mention that you want to talk about insurrection. Not only is there no charges of insurrection, no conviction of insurrection against the United States levied at Donald Trump, the 14th Amendment was actually used to avoid bringing Jefferson Davis to trial because they didn't want to lose to him after 1 million people had already been killed. They didn't want to lose to him because Lincoln decided to settle the secession argument with blood. So you want to talk about the 14th Amendment being used to eliminate Trump and whatever. They used the 14th Amendment back in the 19th century to avoid getting embarrassed by Jefferson Davis after the war ended. Now, I would love to see more historical dialectics. I would love to hear Brian McClanahan or a Chris Ann Hall or a Thomas DiLorenzo sit down across the way from anybody, any academic that the left puts up to discuss history. But these debates between people who are looking at an event that you're never going to be able to get settled one way or another. When you're sitting across the way from 3 bad faith actors who only care about being able to to pounce on you. You know, Glenn Greenwald is not necessarily a staunch conservative. You know, it's just that there's a lot of people out there, and this is what I was saying before. What Zero Hedge put together was, yeah, a good idea, but really, really poorly put together. It attracted views, but I don't think anybody got anything out of it. Crossovers are necessary. Crossovers are necessary. There needs to be places where people who are more conservative and right wing are sitting down with people who are more progressive and left wing, and they're having dialectics and they're having conversations that are challenging but civil and really enthralling stuff. And I use, for an example, Jimmy Dore. I use Jimmy Dore as an example. That's a guy who, it took me a little while when I first found him. It took me a little while to realize how, progressive left wing he was with his policies, because he's so common sense and he's not afraid to talk to people like a Tucker Carlson or to go on a right wing podcast. He's very pro free speech, anti-war in big ways. But if you get down to dollars and cents about how we should, universalize healthcare, we would be probably on polar opposites of the planet, which is okay if you're at least to be able to sit down and agree on some core fundamentals of a free society that allow you to view the person across the table as human. I don't see the Krasensteins as humans. I see them as strange laboratory rats who have huge pieces of their brain missing, where they actually can't. I mean, there's nothing about that was going to be very, very constructive, though it did attract a lot of viewers. And I don't know if I hit all the points. See, I'm not a debater either. I'm a loudmouth in the back of the classroom. I'm an interviewer. I'm a guy that you can sit down at a lounge and just talk to for hours. And we'll get to some really interesting places in that conversation over the course of whatever time that we have set up for us. But debating is a very fine art. And I would never want to be on one of those panels. I just don't belong there. But I would love to talk about history. I love telling stories. I love taking calls. So, I'm a master debater, some would say. But hold on, I need a little warm up here. Oh, a little bit. Oh, didn't realize how bright Dore was. Jimmy Dore is amazing. Casey Kakalaki says, I'm a debater. I love to argue when I know the subject matter. Me too. Me too. I guess it comes down to how well versed you are on something, and then you could, I guess I could debate things like Star Wars. I don't know. I mean, have you ever watched a debate team work? There's huge. It's a big thing. Like that shit's a real sport. But yeah, when I saw Alex Jones there, I said, oh boy, well, that was going to be entertaining. But it took no time whatsoever to see that Zero Hedge thing was not going to yield the fruit that they thought of. Like, whose minds were going to be changed? Whose minds? What's going on? Rooting for Putin. I'll debate anyone on that one, says Viking. Arguing is my jam. It is a sport, even when not in a formal setting. We have debate in our homeschool group. It's kind of hard. It is hard. Because you need to focus and you need to pick apart arguments as they come in. You have to become a very proficient note taker. You have to have your shorthand note taking down. Yeah. GDSOB. What's up, man? Ciao. Celebrating 1 year of buying from Wise Wolf. Good for you, Robin. Good for you. I love Wise Wolf. That's quite frankly .gold. They have wonderful monthly programs you can get on for little, just so that you always have a little bit of gold or silver showing up. They're fantastic. Wisewolf.gold. Too many people aim to change others' opinions while debating. That's the wrong point. Yeah, you know, like I said, in a debate setting, there's a way to score points. Like even if you have the stronger, that's the best part about the whole thing. Even if you're assigned a side of an argument, and even if you don't believe in that side of the argument, you need to be able to take what you have and to be able to launch an attack on the other side. So you're sometimes assigned the task of being devil's advocate and going against what you would normally take up as your own point of view. And the zero hedge thing is a perfect example of how people with the stronger argument, the right, or I would say the non-Fed side, the non-official story side of January 6th, they have all of the tools and they have all the information and all the history on their side. But if you do not present the information in an orderly way and you don't present it in a calm way and you eliminate any opportunity for the other side to be able to focus in on your presentation and your style and presentation and not the actual information, then a weaker argument could win. You know, a weaker argument can win. And that's what you have. In a debate setting, in an actual competition. Zero Hedge gets zero trust from me. I like Zero Hedge as a news source. I read from Zero Hedge as much as I can, just because I like how they condense things. I like how they source things. They get a lot of good media clips in there that are relevant, so I don't have to go all over the place. They add emphasis in places that I would too. So I tend to defer to Zero Hedge to put a concise, to wrap it all together. But we haven't been reading a lot of news together lately. Just doing our interviews and taking calls. Thoughts on the tunnels and the New York synagogue. Oh, I saw that last night. What's up, Papa Groovy? I saw that. I got off the air last night and I saw all these New York, what do you call them? Hasidic Jews crawling out of it was like one of those grates, those sewer grates. What the hell is going on? I have to look into it more because I had some things set aside. That's always something going on. 9 days into the new year. Good morning from Northern Alaska. What's going on, Farbo? What are we on? We're 48 minutes? I'll stay on for another 10, 12 minutes. Then I'm going to start compiling all my notes. What up, Frank? Friday show idea, talking Sopranos, favorite TV shows, favorite characters, episodes, or fan theories. I would love to talk Sopranos. I love that. I love to talk Sopranos. I'd love to talk Twilight Zone. I wrote that down on New Year's Eve when they had the Twilight Zone marathons on a couple of stations. I need to first sit down and watch every Twilight Zone episode as an adult. And I want to take notes on my favorite episodes and the best morals of the story. And then I want to open it up to people. So I want to do Twilight Zone because I feel like every couple of years I circle back around to Rod Serling and just his work in general. Rod Serling made a couple of really great speeches at some universities back in the 60s and the 70s, whenever it was. We did it on the show. But Rod Serling, just as a American figure, is incredible. But we gotta do Twilight Zone. Michelle's been rewatching The Sopranos with her husband the past few weeks. Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And it's even better if you're from where I'm from. I should say it sometimes could be better. It's challenging. King knows. You watch The Sopranos and you just see so many characters that you know in life, especially the women. So many characters, you're just like, oh. Yellowstone, yep. The Pine Barrens episode was just on yesterday, I think. My mother's been watching the marathon. They've been doing one season a day for the last however many days. And I think season 3 was 2 days ago. Yesterday was season 4. I've done all the Twilight Zones. I could absolutely love that topic. Who have we fought more wars against, Germany or Russia? So how is Russia the bad guy now? Well, that's a deep question there too. I was getting physically angry watching The Sopranos, says King. I know. I was the one that convinced King to watch The Sopranos for the first time. He had been avoiding it. And I would get angry voicemails left on my phone by King because there was one episode that Janice is doing something he couldn't stand, or Christopher, or this what he's just getting so angry. I said, oh boy, I'm happy I did this. Oh, that's right, I'm going to be on Charlie Robinson's podcast in an hour. This is where I set myself reminders. 11 o'clock, Charlie Robinson. Janice is one of my sisters, says King 40. Oh, I don't have any sisters, but I know Janice. Janice killing Richie is probably the most. Although Richie's character, I hated seeing Richie go because he was troublesome. He'd have to go eventually because he was not going to be him. I think that the most diplomatic way that a troublesome character was dealt with was Feech LaManna. The way that they dealt with Feech was the most diplomatic way anybody was dealt with in The Sopranos. You know that Feech was not going to bend the knee. He was not going to be able to modernize his way of thinking. He did not like Tony in charge. And I think that was the more respectable thing that they actually did in that movie, in that series, is just find a way to send Feech back to jail. What else we got? I was in love with Rosie April. She was the realist. Of all of the wives, she was the realist. Syl had a ride or die. Syl's wife was a ride or die kind of girl. But Rosalie knew the deal. She knew her place in it. She made no apologies for how the men conducted their business. And she never, I don't know. I think she was just the realist. I give her a lot. And she's the most authentic. She's definitely the most authentically acted character, at least from around here. Like, I had people say, Frank, what do you like The Sopranos? The acting is so bad. I said, no, come to New York. What are you going to tell me, that the people that I live next to, the acting is bad? It's just the way it is. There is a certain way that they're carried. It's nuts. And it's a character that's passed down through the generations. It's like that Offspring song, Down the Line. Nothing changes because it's all the same. The world you get's the one you give away. And, yeah. Let's see. Mystery Science Theater was so fun with the old sci-fi films. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Stephanie says her daughter is in a few episodes of a show called Graves End. I never heard of it. Never heard of it. All right. All right, couple more minutes because I want to get some of these notes down before I jump on with Charlie. So any final thoughts you guys have as we wrap up our Tuesday morning coffee? Though I might be able to do a Friday morning coffee stream too because Dark to Light has been canceled. Tracy is traveling on Friday. So, as you know, I'm only on Dark to Light on Friday mornings at 8:30 now instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And there will be weeks like this where Tracy's just not in town. So Friday morning I'll have a coffee talk with you guys as well. Whoa! You son of a bitch. How about Boardwalk Empire, says Mark Daga. I told you. I have been trying to get all of my family and friends to watch Boardwalk Empire. I've been trying to get everybody to watch that. You know how many times I almost played as part of like an extended break? Like if I have to go to the bathroom or something, I have to run down the hall at the studio and I play longer, like I'll play like a music video or something then to buy me some time. I can't tell you how many times I almost played Richard Harrow rescuing Tommy Darmody from the whorehouse, where he's just ripping through all of that Brooklyn gang. But, you know, if you don't have the context for it, you just think it's a guy in a mask going on a killing spree until you realize that he's, you know, how awesome this guy is, and that he's saving a child who's being, you know, who doesn't have a lot going for him and really loves this kid. Oh, man. I don't know how many times I almost played that, but I said, without context, people think I'm just going to show a shooting spree here. Frank, do you like Black Mirror? I do. I've only watched a handful of episodes, though. I've watched enough to know that I really appreciate it, but every time I watch an episode, I say, all right, well, I'll watch another episode in a couple of months. It just hollows me out. It brings you down to that Twilight Zone depth and then 5 depths below. Too much Black Mirror will hurt you, said Viking. Yes. Too much Black Mirror will hollow you. It's like drinking Drano. Definitely don't watch it before you go to bed. It's like drinking Drano. And that's not because it's bad. It's just, you're like, oh, man. Damn. And the worst thing about it is that you're not even just putting yourself in a what if scenario. The problem is that there's so much that you see. You know, we're talking about debating before, and debating is really understanding logical fallacies so that you can check yourself from committing a logical fallacy, and also to check somebody that you're talking to when they're committing a logical fallacy to keep them honest, you know, like creating straw man arguments, ad hominem, getting away from actual data and just starting attacking somebody personally, things like that. But one of those logical fallacies that I really do believe is the least offensive is slippery slope. I mean, we are at the bottom of how many slippery slopes right now that if you go back 10, 15 years, people would say, calm down. It's not going to be like that, you know, or you're taking it too far. Slippery slope is a logical fallacy, but I think that out of all the logical fallacies, it applies perfectly, and it is very, very, it's not a bad thing to use because we've seen it happen more and more. Let's see here. And by the way, if you've never studied the logical fallacies, you should go check them out. because you'll realize how many people in your life manipulate you without knowing, and how weak their arguments actually are. That even if you don't know exactly how you would counter one argument, you know, it's for somebody who's making a statement that has to defend their own position. But if you see that they're delivering something with broken logic, you can just say, well, listen, I don't know too much about what you're going on here, but the way that you're delivering this to me is ridiculous. You definitely should go study those logical fallacies. Every once in a while, I take them out and I start looking through them again until I commit them to memory. All right. We have to read logical fallacies in our homeschool group as well. Well, Kelly, I wish you guys were in the New York tri-state area, because I need to find myself a really good homeschool group soon. Boardwalk would have been one of the greats, my personal favorite, but a lot of missed potential. Oh, I know. Boardwalk Empire is another one of those things that was just wrapped up so hastily. It was wrapped up so hastily. Thank you, Mike. Mike Roberts. Love your show. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I probably do have we just got to take a look at it. Homeschool groups. They got to be around here. Can't wait for the movie interpretation of the last 5 years. Yeah, who's going to direct it though, John? That's the whole point. That's why we have to make. That's why we have to make investments in new media, broadcast media, in storytellers, in publishers, people who write books, people who want to create new people like George Alexopoulos and Razor Fist, who are making inroads into graphic novels and things like that. We want to encourage new programmers for video games, for screenwriters and playwrights. That's where we have to make those investments, conscious investments, and it's tough because, you know, for someone like me, I'm very blessed with the audience I have, but I still have to keep working at encouraging people to become monthly sponsors and things, because we got the numbers. We got the numbers. Whereas if everybody gave just a little, not just this show, everything, we got people are going nuts looking for good stuff to be able to do an end around all of this cookie cutter nonsense. Like I was talking about Netflix last night. That Twin Flames thing. If you didn't watch the second half of last night's show, go check it out. It's on Rumble and BitChute and all the podcast stuff. If you didn't watch that Twin Flames thing, it was double fascinating for me, just because here's a story of a definite dating-based multi-level marketing cult. And it no doubt is a cult. It was very kind of spiritual, new age, religious from the get-go. Then they turned it into an actual church, and then it's nuts. But to see Netflix, which runs public relations for a very pervasive pop culture cult movement of its own, to see Netflix have to report on another cult when they themselves are the face of a large popular cult themselves was very fascinating. And that is a perspective that I think only a very select number of the audience that watch that would actually have, because most people who are on Netflix, they'll just take that as the be all end all. And so that's why, aside from peeking in on what the witches and warlocks are doing, it's good to make conscious investments into things that you like this show, which has to be voluntary. You know, I'm not one to put things behind a paywall, but there are plenty of perks behind a paywall. and people really love the Sunday shows and all the other things that we're doing. Book club was just last night. Who's enjoying the book club so far? I loved it. This is going to be a really good one. Lucifer's Hammer. All right. I've said goodbye 3 times already. It's time for me to go, though. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 o'clock. And yeah, I'll see you there. Rainbow Warrior. I always invite Polly on. I always invite Polly on. She gets an email and a text from me every couple of months just reminding her that the door is always open and that I love her. So hopefully one day she takes me up on it. She's a very busy woman. I'll catch you guys on the flippity flop. Have yourself a good day. I'll be on Macroaggressions in a little while. I don't know if that's live, but I'll see you at 7. And if there's anything that you want to contribute to tonight's interview or any topics you want to contribute as a bonus topic tonight, email me, quitefranklypodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to become a sponsor, go to the subscribe star. That's all the link. Oh, there's John Ward. Cheers, Frank. 2024. Now got to be careful who is lurking. I know. There's John Ward in the chat room. You never know who's watching. Always remember that. You never know who's watching. That's why the people I don't care. That's, you just have to talk bluntly about people you truly don't care about if they're watching. Like the Krasensteins before, which John has has left his mark on the Krasenstein brand. So I hope he saw that. If not, then enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody.